Alright, so first up in the news, it looks like the way forward for Oyo's IPO is now clear. And up until very recently, that wasn't the case because Zoe, the owner of Zostel, had filed a petition with the Delhi High Court to stop Oyo from going public because they claimed that Oyo's shareholding structure was in dispute after a deal gone wrong between Zostel and Oyo back in 2015. But the Delhi High Court has rejected this petition. So back in 2015, Oyo had entered into talks with Zoe to acquire Zostel, and they had offered them a 7% stake in Oyo in exchange for this. And the point of contention here after all of these years is that Zostel says that Oyo had signed a term sheet which was legally binding, and Oyo disagrees. Talking about the issue, an Oyo spokesperson said that while we wait for the full order, we believe that Zostel's demand for issuance of 7% shares of Oyo under the arbitration award has also been rejected. This verdict vindicates our stand that Zostel has been trying to mislead the public at large. We hope that this will act as a strong deterrent for Zostel's endless forum shopping efforts and be a conclusive closure of this matter. Now, one thing to keep in mind here is that while the road to Oyo's IPO is finally clear, the road to a successful IPO probably isn't clear. The stock market just hasn't been kind to Indian startups that went public last year. We've got Zomato stock down by 30%, Nykaa stock is down by 35%, Policybazaar is down by 41%, and Paytm is down by 45%. Alright, moving on to some acquisition news now. Sharechat's short video app Moj has acquired MX players MX TakaTak in a deal estimated to be worth between $600 and $900 million by various news reports. Now, for the time being, Moj and MX TakaTak are going to be operating as separate apps, but they're expected to merge in the next 6 months. With this acquisition, Moj and MX TakaTak, which have 160 and 150 million monthly active users respectively, are going to merge their user bases, and while we don't really know what kind of overlap these two apps have currently, the combined number of users according to their current user bases is going to be 310 million monthly active users total. Alright, next up in the acquisition news, health and fitness startup Cult.fit has acquired Gold's Gym's India business for an undisclosed amount. They've done this by picking up a majority stake in F2 Fun and Fitness India, making Cult.fit the master franchise owner of Gold's Gym in India. While Cult.fit operates more than 350 owned and partner centers across the country, Gold's Gym is the second largest player in the fitness space with 150 gyms across 95 cities in India. As part of this acquisition, Cult.fit will continue to operate Gold's Gym as a separate brand, leveraging the brand equity that Gold's Gym has been building in India for the last 19 years. And they're also planning on scaling Gold's Gym to 200 centers in the next 24 months. Besides this, Cult.fit is planning on expanding the Gold's Gym brand across countries like Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Maldives, Nepal, and Bhutan. Alright, next up, this video is sponsored by Kuvera, a free, safe, and friendly platform for all of your investment needs. If you haven't started investing yet, then there's a good chance that you've heard a lot of financial advice from a lot of different people. Maybe it's a family member who keeps insisting that you invest in mutual funds, or maybe it's a friend who wants you to open an FD, or some random person on the internet who keeps raving about how he got rich trading, and you can too if you just follow this advice. And all of this can be overwhelming, right? It makes it difficult to jump in and get started. But this is where Kuvera can actually come in and lend you a hand. Because everybody is unique, right? Everybody has different goals, so why should your investment journey be any different? Maybe you have a goal of retiring early at 45, or maybe you want to have your dream wedding at your favorite destination, or maybe you just want to save money for your next vacation. Kuvera's built a platform that allows you to plug in your goals, and its intelligent algorithms will help you in creating an investment plan that'll help you to achieve those goals. And the best part is that Kuvera encourages you to make long-term investments for better returns, which is why they don't charge any commission and you get to keep all of your profits. So instead of following some random get-rich-quick investment advice, you can head over to Kuvera and start your investment journey now based on your needs and at your own pace. You can find the download link to Kuvera's app in the description and pinned comment down below, and thanks to Kuvera for sponsoring this video. Alright, moving on to some funding news now. Glance, a lock screen content provider, has raised $200 million from Jio Platforms. So Glance is owned by India's first startup unicorn, Imobi, and it offers personalized content on the lock screen of over 400 million smartphones. Imobi wants to build Glance into the world's largest live content and commerce platform, and so this partnership with Reliance will allow them to integrate their platform into Jio's newly launched JioPhone Next smartphone. They'll be using these funds to expand internationally into the United States, Brazil, Mexico, and Russia. All right, next up in the funding news, commercial EV manufacturing startup Altigreen has raised $40 million. They've raised these funds from investors like 6 Sense Ventures, Reliance New Energy, which is a subsidiary of Reliance Industries, Exponentia Capital, Accurant International, and Momentum Venture Capital. So Altigreen makes electric three-wheelers to help e-commerce players by offering a green solution for their last-mile delivery. Their flagship electric three-wheeler called NEEV is already operational across cities like New Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, and Chennai. They're going to be using these funds to ramp up their production capabilities, invest in R&D, add more EV products to their portfolio, and to expand their presence across the country. Alright, next up in the funding news, health tech startup Kenko Health has raised $12 million in a funding round led by Sequoia Capital. Kenko Health offers subscription-based coverage for healthcare expenses for OPD patients, and they also have tie-ups with insurance providers to offer hospitalization expense coverage. Their subscription-based healthcare service is targeted towards middle-income households in Tier 2 cities with low health insurance coverage, and so far they already have 50,000 users across 40 cities. They're going to be using these funds to add new products and OPD categories like dental, mental health, at-home care, and reproductive health, and to expand their user base to 250,000 users by the end of March of 2022. Alright, next up in the funding news, we're going to jump into our rapid funding news item segment now, where I'm going to tell you 6 funding news items real quick. First up, beauty brand RENEE Cosmetics has raised $10 million in a round led by Mensa Brands to strengthen their brand presence and expand their offline presence too. Next up, we have Thrasio-style House of Brands startup Join Ventures, and they too have raised $10 million to improve their logistics network by adding more dark stores. After that, we have employee-focused insurtech startup Healthysure, and they've raised $1.2 million to offer affordable and innovative health insurance products for the Indian workforce. Up next, we have jewelry-focused e-commerce startup Aulerth, and they've raised $1.1 million to expand their operations and build their team of experts. After this, we have invoicing and billing platform for SMEs, Swipe, and they've raised $2 million in a round led by Y Combinator to add new features and to reach 1 million businesses by the end of 2022. And then finally, we have call management CRM, that's customer relationship management platform Runo, and they've raised $500,000 in a round led by Unicorn India to help them expand into the Middle East, Southeast Asia, and the US market. Alright, that is all the startup news that I have for you guys this week. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. Big thanks now to all of our Backstage with Millionaires members, our unicorns, our decacorns, and our hectacorns, and of course, big thanks to this week's sponsor, Kuvera. And remember guys, you can start your investment journey by clicking on the link in the description and pinned comment down below. Alright, thank you so much for watching this episode of Backstage with Millionaires, and I will see you in the next one.